We are now officially 1 month into the climb. I want to take this time to reflect on everything so far, but especially look at last week, as I think there's a lot to discuss. So, last week we continued our rough streak from week 3. We lost a lot, it got to me and I started playing way more games than originally intended. At the same time, I broke a lot of rules that we made. I did not practice yes beforehand. I did not take a break when I was tilted, and I did not stretch in between games anymore. I think the results really do speak for themselves. We have had days where we lost up to 80 to 100 LP. Of course, this is only possible when I play way more games than originally agreed upon. This Wednesday we played 15 games. 15, which is just absolutely ridiculous. After that day, I did recenter myself and started sticking to our set rules again. Immediately, performance improved. Since Wednesday, we only had one negative day, and unfortunately, with the horrible start of the week, we are still down 27 LP. However, even though these last 2 weeks have been horrible, the damage is manageable. Minus 55 LP. It's definitely not too bad, and considering that we also started playing a new champion, Kaisa, I think we got off lucky, to be honest. I think these last 2 weeks have been real eye-openers, and regardless of the fact that we tilted so much and got so angry at times, even in recordings, I think we can be proud of ourselves. We pulled through, got out of the slump and adjusted our expectations. Moreover, we were able to fall back into our good habits and have been rewarded for that as well. Now, we did stop going for runs in the morning somewhere in the middle of last week. This was a deliberate decision on my part, as it was a big change to our daily, quite consistent rhythm. I had things that needed fixing first before I started making such drastic changes, and hopefully now I can start slowly doing that again. I think one of the most important effects that I have felt during these weeks is the effect of consistency. I always find it super cool to see pros bring out certain effects with them on stage or take off their shoes, as it all makes sense. Those things are around when they practice, so therefore they transfer that to the stage, and the same goes for us essentially. There is a reason that when you ask high elo players how to climb, they often give you the tip to focus on one role and 2 to 3 champions. If you think about it, it's all about consistency. You know the role and these champions well, so therefore you do not have to think about these aspects anymore, so you can focus on the current scenarios in that game. This also goes for anything you do before your games, and this is why a lot of athletes have certain superstitions like what underwear or what towels to bring to a game. Also think about more famous examples like LeBron's chalk toss or any NBA player's free throw routine. Consistency helps your performance, and these pre-game rituals help you get into the zone. So here is what you could do to improve your consistency, or to build up pre-game rituals. This is also what I will be doing in the coming week for the climb, as there still is a little bit of variety on my part. Mind you, this is a little bit of a longer process to really fine-tune, so stick with it for a while, it is definitely worth it. Start your days just as normal, or go into your scrims like you always do. And you know that feeling you sometimes get before you queue up, or you go into your games, or you go into your tournament or whatever, where you're like, yes, I am really, really feeling good, and now I know I will perform to my absolute best. It is this excitement feeling that is super nice to feel, and it is a little bit hard to pinpoint exactly what it is. Well, when you get that feeling, trace back to the things that you did. Is there anything in particular that maybe you didn't do on other days where you didn't have this feeling? It may help making a real distinct list of activities leading up to where you want to start performing. Then, on other days, try to mimic this as much as possible. You should get into the same flow, maybe not exactly, but it helped you the other day, so maybe it will today as well. Do not be afraid to experiment with your activities. It is good to find out things that you do want to do and things that you would like to avoid. Perhaps you think to yourself, I did this, but it feels so silly, or this can't possibly have an effect, to which I say, maybe it does though. Like mentioned before, Many athletes are superstitious and apply to what may seem for some as silly things to their everyday performance. Even yesterday, we had a game pause in the LEC because one of the players forgot to bring their pillow on stage. It is all about consistency. Now, with that out of the way, let's just watch the rest of this game. I think that will be a nice, good closing of the week. I did like to do it last week because it allows me to be a bit more Mr. Hindsight and kind of see things. Here, for example, I could have definitely stolen Drake if I paid a little bit more attention. I think this is the point in the game where Graves started tilting. We're doing very, very well in lane, by the way. This is also the first game where I went the different Kai'Sa build. The one that goes Eclipse, Nashers, and then into Ginsos. Gotta say, pretty fun build. I think it's also pretty strong. This Spike was really good, by the way. He was a real good support. He started becoming a bit overconfident later in the game, but overall was very, very happy with him. And I don't know, man. Here's the thing. Now that I'm a little bit out of the professional mode, I'm just talking about this game. I don't know what it is. I realize here, by the way, on the map that he's fighting, which is why I came. Slightly dodge around the trap there, and then just one auto attack to finish her off. Anyways, I noticed during these games that often my lane opponent either doesn't get to play the game, essentially, or no, hold on, sorry, I zoned the fuck out, my apologies. Either my lane opponent just completely smurfs lane, and then that's unlucky and we don't get any help, or at the same time they don't get to play the lane, and then my team just starts running them down, which is really odd. It's really, really odd because I don't know, I'm just do they really have to get fed? I've had it 3-4 games now already where my lane opponent just goes 0 fucking kills, 5 deaths, and then suddenly I look on a scoreboard and they're 13-4, and I don't know what happened. I think in this game I mess up once with the Jinx, or me and Pyke together, but I don't know, it's a bit weird sometimes how these things turn out. Fun fact here about this game, I reported the Yasuo pre-game lobby because he locked in Yasuo as top. I was just okay, you gotta understand, right? So I was a bit annoyed because this is technically my 5th game. Ooh, I know, right? And the problem here was that I was annoyed by the fact that I wanted to record something to put in the background of the weekly review and I forgot. And I know that when I download a entire game from the League client, that it just looks very weird or really bad quality. So therefore I did it I played another game, right? And then I saw the Yasuo top before he hovered Riven, I believe. I don't have it on recording because I only started recording in game, but I think he hovered Riven or something like that. And then Trundle was picked into him and I was okay, so this guy's just completely inting, right? Yeah. I don't know, man. I do have the feeling that we're becoming so much of a better player. And I know it's super, super cringe to say that your teammates are holding you back because that's not happening. It's also not happening to us. But I gotta say, the amount of the fucking teammates that we've had lately, it's different, man. They're all complete specimens. I don't have any other words for it. I find it crazy that there's at least, this is on average, right? In a loss, in all my losses, there is at least one person with 11 deaths or 10 deaths or more. At least one. And then most of the times it's still 2 or 3 people who have 10 deaths or more. Like the game that I uploaded today, like, I'm sorry, but you can't win that. Like, I tried my absolute hardest and maybe there was a way, maybe, very, very maybe. And I edited it and I looked back at it and I was like, what if I didn't get killed under tower mid by Kane? And if I listened better to my instincts and instead of going up toward the bush, I used my blue trinket, would it have looked different? Or there was another death. There was another death where I was like, I could have prevented this, that's for sure. Like, I definitely could have prevented it. But I don't know if it would have made us win. Like, I don't know if it would have been enough. And that's kind of, I think, the issue. I really don't know if it would have been enough. And maybe it would have been. I guess there's no way of, like, finding that out ever. But these past 2 days, we've been playing really well, like, in the games. And I don't know, switching champs, I do think it helped. I don't think it was necessary. And talking about that, the next patch, the buffs to IE and to LDR, I don't know, man. I don't know. It might just be enough because LDR is already really, really good. And the IE build with Twitch was really fun, so I'll definitely try it for like a game. But I do think that Kai'Sa is just like a way better solo queue champion. She can also go Navori's, which gets like 5 AD, so the item gets buffed, but the build path is worse because I think pickaxe goes out and BF goes in. But we'll see, man. We'll see. I think I just if I think a little bit more during the games, if I just a little bit more, man, and I react a little bit faster, I think this is where we fuck up, by the way. Because he's just, I don't know, and now I'm like, oh, we can kill, and then I get hit by the Nami wave, and then I get exhausted, and then I just do no damage. Unlucky. But anyways, I think if I just think a little bit faster and like respond a little bit faster, I think we're gonna be like in such a way better spot like regarding our gameplay. And this is also absolutely disgusting. This Jinx was pretty good, to be honest. Like, I don't think this Jinx was a bad player. I think she just got absolutely shafted in lane, especially thanks to Nami. But because she only died once, right? Actually, now I'm looking at it. She only died once. And now I'm just like, okay, how the fuck did she get like 6 kills? And now Graves tilts, I think. I think now he actually stops playing. Because now he refuses to take objectives and stuff. And it becomes this really weird game. This game did not have to last. I don't know, how long does it actually last? Like 30 minutes, a little bit longer. It really did not have to take this long. I believe this is a good kill. Don't think I ult here, no. I don't even have ult. The Zed is there. I see Zed. This is where I tilt a little bit. It's just like 1 second too early, isn't it? It's just like 1 second too early into type FF. And this is kind of what happens, by the way, when I don't turn off chat. Because usually also when I do not play, like on stream or like on recording, I don't type at all. Sometimes I do type a little bit because I'm just baffled. Like, honestly, I'm just baffled by how some people play. And they are probably also very baffled by the way that I play. But I don't know, I just don't understand sometimes. It's like really weird. It's like proper weird. Like, It's just solo queue, right? And unfortunately, you are dependent on other people. And it is a team game, which shouldn't be an issue, but at the same time, it is. I think, once again, and I know that I'm not alone in this, I think that League would definitely benefit from voice chat. I really do think it would benefit from voice chat. And I think it will be super toxic in the beginning, but I think afterwards, everybody will like benefit from it. Why? Because I just need to communicate to my people sometimes that they can't just invade when they have no prio, and they can't start a dragon when we have no prio, and that they will move and that we can't. And I don't know, man. It's always so crazy to me that, because those moments, really those moments when, for example, didn't happen this game, but just as an example, right? For example, we are pushed under tower because we're playing against, let's say Caitlyn Melio or whatever, you know, something that just completely outranges Kai'Sa, or Vayne Melio, Vayne Lulu, whatever you want to make of it. And they go from our lane into like river, and we see Graves is on dragon, and we don't just immediately come because they stack 3 waves and they're under tower, and even if we come and fight, we can't win the fight. Like half of the time, or like 100% of the time, Graves dies there. 50% of the time, they just go AFK. Or they come into lane to kill your fucking cannon. And they just perma CS side lane or jungle for the rest of the game, and they don't want to play anymore. Which is double issue, because now your Caitlyn has a kill, and the lane is absolutely over, even though it already was. This really tilted me. Like, I'm gonna be honest, that really tilted me. I don't understand why junglers always do it. Because there's really no reason for it. Like, there's really no reason for them to be like, I'm gonna take some minions here. Hoppa. That felt so good. That felt so good. Quick evolve here on the E. I think we try a little bit more actually. But this set is really scary. And this Trundle is a full AP, by the way. Don't forget that. I don't know if any of you noticed yet, but he is full AP. And now it's getting a little bit dangerous. Now it gets a little bit dangerous. And now Jinx Rocket comes. Spoiler. And Pyke is back in base. And I think now he's like 058 or something. Because he just died a lot. Which is quite unlucky. It felt really good, by the way, this build. Going like everything upgraded. It was really fun to play. I don't necessarily know why. Because like Eclipse gives you like a shield or something. Or does like percentage max HP damage. But I don't know exactly why it's so much better versus Assassins. I think because it opens you to like go exactly this build. So you get a bit of AP. You're still okay in like short range. And you are also okay to build Sonya's. So I think that might be the reason. I also had a game today against Malzahar, and I don't know what else it was. Hold on, let me look at that real quick. But that was super unfun to play because they had so much CC. And I did end up going Mercurial Saber, but that item is it's so shit. That item is so bad. Hold on, where is it? Here it is. Right, Fiddle, Malzahar, Blitzcrank. And then Samira on top of that as well with the micro CC on the knockup. It was not fun. I don't know. We still won it. I went 11-5 and the game was like 6.1. You have like a third highest damage in the team. You have 8 CS per minute. You killed like you placed 11 wards, killed 2. 6.1. But I really, oh man, like, honestly, playing Kai'Sa is so much fun. Like, I absolutely love trying to, like, glide and stuff as Twitch, but Kai'Sa is also really, really, really fun to play. I don't know who I'd want for a third champion, to be honest. I've been thinking about it. Thinking about Caitlyn, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't feel like she's in a really good spot. Maybe, actually. Maybe. With the IE changes. And of course the LDR changes. Maybe with IE changes, she's really good. Because that's like from 40 to 50%. And that will do a lot. I think that was pretty ambitious, by the way. Trying to kind of fight the set there. It was more like a... I was more bluffing a little bit, I think. I think that was a bit more bluffing. But this set becomes quite scary, I would say. I don't know, it's really weird because I think in general assassins are not good. But at the same time, as AD carry player, they are horrible to like play against. Because so I've been I've actually been playing a little bit of Kiana on like a different account, and I hate that, by the way. I hated that didn't go over on a different account. I didn't see this journal because I just wanted to bully some AD carries, to be honest. It's like spiritual healing for me. I'm gonna be really honest. It's like spiritual healing because I just get 6. I go out of my lane, I walk bot, and I just EQ, miss my ult, and then just W auto attack Q again, and they just die. They're just gone, and it doesn't matter how well they play it. And the fact that they're 4-0 sometimes is even better, because I literally roll my head on the keyboard, and even though a lot of assassins take a lot of skill to play, and Kiana is one of those champions, as long as I'm up against AD carries, I don't have to. I'm sorry, I really don't have to. If they disrespect like me for a millisecond, they're just dead. They are just dead, unless they have like a crazy healer on them. But to be honest, I have the feeling still a lot of supports are out of field. I also had a really weird experience this afternoon with the support. He just goes in here, yeah. I thought about flashing, but I don't know. I found it a bit too greedy. I found it too greedy. Like the weird experience that I had with the support is they looked Leona, and I could see, right? Here's the fun part. I could see from the way that they were looking in that they were either out of field or they did not play Leona at all. Here's what happened. Leona, right? Leona. I was Kai'Sa. We played against Senna Sona lane. Horrible. Absolute disaster. Because they just heal way too much. Leona, when we got level 2, she was... The lane was in the middle, right? The lane was in the middle. Just the middle of the wave was in the middle of the lane. I'm sorry. This Leona was standing under tower when we got level 2. So, of course, like the AD carry main player that or like the AD carry main character that I am, I went forward because I wanted to trade, because are you crazy? I'm level 2. And she just kind of stayed behind. I didn't die, but I don't know. It's like, it's super weird, right? Because then after the game, I look on their account, and this is not to flame. I really don't mind. I really don't care. But they only play Soraka. They only play Milio. They only play Zillion, whatever. So they're like full enchanters. Nami, Seraphine. But in my game, suddenly they have to play Leona, which they have never played. And they obviously do not know how the champ works. And I'm all for trying new champions, but like, couldn't you do that like in a different game? Like just somewhere else or something? I don't know. Like, just leave me, man. Leave me alone. Then at the same time, which was also super, super funny, I played against a Smurf on Zeri. They were absolutely horrible to play against in lane. It was crazy. We were Kaisa Lux versus... This was the slowest combo, by the way. Kaisa Lux versus Zeri Braum. And they fisted us. Like, listen again. They fisted us. Absolutely fisted. It was crazy to see. She also ended the game with 9.9 CS per minute. And it was super unfun to play against. But, hey, listen, man. You're, like, super cool and all. And you're playing Zeri and you're going, like, 5-0 in lane. But, my LeBlanc ended the game with 21 kills and 1 death. So, you're, like, super cool and all. But LeBlanc is gonna WRQ. And she's just gonna kill you. WRQE. And you're just gonna be dead. And... usually, you know, she doesn't even have to fucking W you again. Or are you? She can just WQE and you're just dead. And I really felt bad for this Zeri because they were crazy. Like, they were absolutely crazy. I don't think I've played against such a good AD carry yet. But I don't know. I think we hold on pretty good. Like, we went 7.3 CS, which, considering the fact that we were pushed under tower, they were, I believe, it was, I was level 5, Lux was level 5, Zeri 6, Brown 5, and from that point on, they did it once, they dove us under tower, and after that they could just keep doing it. Like, it was crazy. Like, we didn't stand a chance. And it's not like they did any, like, crazy special things, by the way. But it was more the fact that, I don't know, he knew how to play Braum. They weren't duo, by the way. I checked that as well. He knew how to play Braum pretty well. And she, of course, knew how to play AD carry. And I don't know, it was a fisting. That was like the worst fisting that I ever got. And then, of course, it takes you like to level 5, 6 to die, right? But your jungler isn't gonna come help you. Which is like the craziest thing that I've noticed. Your junglers do not care. Like, I don't know, it could be the freest lane to gank and they don't give a shit because your bot lane. Even if top is hard losing, 8 kills down, you're still bot lane. And that top lane will win over you. So it's super important to, I think, have a champion like Kaisa. Or Smolder. To be a bit safe in lane, because 9 out of 10 times nobody's gonna come help you. And you're gonna have to do it all yourself. Yeah. But to be honest, I really like playing. Like, I've been having fun, and there was this moment, I think it was after Wednesday, and I played a few games of support, and I played Senna. And that was absolutely ridiculous, by the way, because I didn't have to do anything. Like, I didn't have to CS. I could leave the lane if it was cringe. And then at the same time, I did more damage than I could as an AD carry. Which was a very interesting experience. And it's also completely unfair. It is completely unfair. Yeah. But I'm very proud, kinda, that we stuck with it. Here, he just flashes on my head and eats me. Unlucky. But yeah, I don't know, like, still, this series, like, doing this, it excites me. Like, it really does. It really does make me happy. And even though the game's past 2 weeks have been rough, still, making a series really excites me. And I do wake up and I'm like, I can't wait to record. Alright, I think that was a nice weekly recap. I think it also is a nice new implementation, and I think it was a nice talk in the end together. That will do it for me today. I'm gonna quickly put this together, and then I will see you guys tomorrow again. Bye!